What's good, everybody? I hope everybody's doing good today, tonight, whenever you're watching this. So, man, this was a video I was not expecting to have to make, but, man, what has gotten into certain politicians out there these days? Not, of course, unfortunately, it seems like politicians on both the right and the left side of politics just completely lost it. You got some politicians on the right that are getting to be just as bad as certain politicians on the left. That is for sure. Now, last night I came across a video from Moist Critical, and I normally don't watch a lot of his videos. I watch some of his stuff because, some of the things he says is funny. It can be, his main channel, Penguin Zero, he can be funny at times, and then there's other times where it's like, dude, do you even know what you're talking about, And I mean that in the most respectful way possible. I'm not hating on the dude because, I do enjoy some of his content. There's a few things out there that I don't watch, especially when it comes to the whole thing with him talking about Trump or whatever, accusing him of being on a freaking Epstein list, which I've been meaning to catch up on for a while, and I just have not gotten around to making that video. But anyways, I'm sorry. This isn't about Penguin Zero, Moist Critical. I'm not sorry. I'm getting too far into the subject. But anyways, so last night I stumbled across a video he made talking about Ted Cruz. And, first and foremost, I don't really care about Ted Cruz. I don't really like the guy, to be honest. He's actually one of the very few right-leaning politicians out there that I truly cannot stand. But last night, I watched a video that Penguin Zero put out, and Ted Cruz was giving out some sort of speech, and the first few things he said were, we gotta stop the murder, stop the rape, okay. That is something I can 100% agree with him on. Because come on now, rape and murder, those are things that I can agree are not good. But then he says something else that just completely stopped me on a dime. Or he basically said, stop attacking pedophiles. I'm sorry, Ted Cruz. What? I had to go back and rewatch what he said and re-listen, just to make sure I heard him correctly. Because, stop attacking pedophiles. Dude, what the hell? I'm not trying to say the actual word because frickin' YouTube is cracking down on YouTubers that use that word. But Ted, what the hell, dude? Dude, I'm not saying that violence is a good answer, but dude, come on, man. I don't know if the dude just was meaning to word it differently and maybe it came out wrong. I don't freaking know. Because, I get it. There are people that have done it, like, that's something I've done before. Like, I'd go to make a video. Like, one time I made a 20-minute video and, I was saying one thing and it freaking came out wrong, and I had to go back and redo the entire video because, I screwed up on one of my words and accidentally said something, oh yeah, this is okay, which I meant to say this isn't okay, It was a different topic, but You know, if Ted Cruz were to backtrack on what he said and were to say why he said it, you know, maybe said something along the lines of, oh, well, this is why I say that, is because, you know, the thing is if you do it, then, you know, not only does the pedophile get in trouble, but you get in trouble too. Oh, not only will that guy get in some serious trouble for this and that and face charges, blah, blah, blah. You know, so will the guy that attacks him, da, 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 da. Like, okay, if he were to word it in that type of perspective, like, I would kind of understand the point he's getting at. But no, he never goes back to his statement. He never goes back and says, you know, this is what I mean about that. You know, this is what I mean about blah, 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 blah. You know, like, Ted, dude, you and quite a few other right-leaning politicians are already under some deep shit, you know. First off, you know, like, certain things going on, like the Israel issue, the freaking, you know, just multiple other things, you know, the Epstein list not coming out yet. It's just, and again, I don't want to get too far into talking about the Epstein list issue, because that's a subject for another time. And, you know, keep in mind, I'm not a lefty. I am a hardcore conservative. But what Ted Cruz did and said, nah, I am sorry, but that I was pretty disgusted when I heard him say what he said. I just don't know what to think about a lot of people these days. I mean, you know, it's bad enough a lot of politicians out there are already in some deep shit over some of the things that are going on and all that. Either that or because, you know, a lot of people on the left don't know how to do their freaking research on a lot of things. But then this comes out and, you know, it's just blows my mind, you know. It's like, okay, again, I get it, you know, violence isn't the answer, but if you're talking about somebody that likes to prey on children or go after children or anything like that, like, dude, I'm sorry, but stomp their head to the curve. That's how I feel about pedophiles. That's for sure. Ted, I really do hope that you do come out with some sort of statement and just be like, hey, look, I'm sorry. This is what I meant to say. This is what I was trying to say. I was trying to work on a speech and I didn't, I wasn't able to backtrack or whatever, or, you know, I didn't realize what I said until after the interview was done and I rewatched it and whatnot. Because, you know, sometimes people don't realize what they say until after they're done speaking, and, you know, it's just, I get it, things happen. But, dude, you need to come out and address this situation. Because, damn deer. Come on. Move. Sorry, guys. I know blowing your horn at the frickin' deer isn't really the best idea, but I live out in the country, and, you know, let me tell you, it's getting to be that time of the year where deer are frickin' horrible. My word. But anyways, I'm sorry, you know, just still, Ted, like I said, you need to come out and address this situation. I mean, stop attacking pedophiles. I'm sorry, but that is... wow. I don't even have the words for that. Again, I mean, like I said, I'm really not a freaking Ted Cruz supporter. I think the dude is just weird. I always thought the dude was weird. You know, there were some things that he said in the past that I do agree with, yeah. But, I tell you what, man, just people out there truly disgust me. That's all I'm going to say about that. Again, like I've said a few minutes ago, I'm in no way, shape, or form a lefty. You know, there's definitely a lot of left-leaning politicians out there that I truly cannot stand. You know, and left-leaning celebrities as well. You know, people like Stephen Colbert or Jimmy Kimmel or any of them crazy weirdos. But I tell you what, man, politicians are, even the ones on the right, just seem like they're freaking going crazy. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I've had to say. You know, hope everybody's having a good day, good night, whenever you're watching this. I'm sure I probably upset some people for what I said, and you know what? I don't care. Sorry this video turned out to be a little longer, but again, you know, that's that. Take care now.